Hey guys, this is Mr. H. Hey, I wanted to do a video on graphing functions on the Regents exam. I'm just going to go through and I'm going to show you basically whenever you see a function, you should it's almost impossible to go wrong if you graph it. Usually there's going to be something if you graph it that should be useful. So I'm just going to do a couple, maybe 4 or 5 questions and show you how you can use your calculator. So the first one I'm going to do is number 4. Actually, let's do this one first. Okay, so you see we have a function here. So very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the graph. I'm going to put tab, and then I'm going to actually change this and make this f of x. Then we're going to do control divide for the stack fraction. It's going to be 3x plus 4 over 2. Press enter. It's going to be a straight line. Doesn't matter. It tells me that they gave us the input of 8. They want to know what the output is. So I'm going to do menu 51. And then all I'm going to do is just type in the input. I'm just going to type in 8. You see that little dialog box that they have? That gives you the ability to enter any input that you want. And if it's on the graph, it's going to tell you what the output is. So if I press enter, it tells me that the output, when the input is 8, the output is 14. So the answer for this one would be 14. All right, now I'm going to go back to this. There's another one down here. Same thing. I'm going to do menu 14, get rid of this. And then I'm going to do tab. This is going to be function. And then I'm going to put in the function. This one is a quadratic. And it's going to be a frown plus 10. And then I press enter. And then again, I'm going to do menu 51. And I'm just going to type in the input. And it tells me the output is also a -2. So the answer for this one would be a -2. Okay, now, if you look at number 2, it doesn't look like that's the same kind of question that the 2 that I just did, but it really is. It says the point 3w, the x coordinate is 3, the y coordinate is going to be w. They say that that point is on this graph. So what's the value of w? So we're trying to find the y coordinate. Now, this is y equals 2x plus 7. Remember, whenever you have y equals, you can always graph it as an f of x. And let me show you. So I'm going to do menu 14, get rid of this one. Now I'm going to go tab, and I'm going to make this f of x. And I'm going to say it's equal to 2x plus 7. Boom, 2x plus 7. There you go. Now, they gave us the input. They said the input is 3. So again, all we have to do is menu 51, type in 3, and the output is 13. So the answer for this one would be 13. Now, the reason that I like this is that you can use menu 51 if you do control T. You also have the table. If you look here, you see that 3, 13. So you could use that as well. Yeah, that's part of the reason I like it. Now, but I'm going to show you that if you don't see that you can make this a function, I'm going to go menu 14. You can, if you delete the equal sign, you'll see these. So this will be y equals, and you can just put in 2x plus 7. And again, it's still going to be a line. Now I can do menu 51. I can still use menu 51. So the input for this one is 3. So boom, got it. And again, it tells me that the output is 13. Now, the reason that I prefer the function to use it as a function is if you try to look at the table, it's going to give you this message. It's going to say, hey, the table only works for the functions, and this is not a function. This is a relation. So boom, it's not done. The other thing is, once I get done with this, let's say menu 14, get rid of this. If I go to tab, now I'm in relation mode. I'm not in the function mode. So that means I need to switch it by going to 3.1 to go back to functions. So if you start with the function, you don't have to go back and change anything. So again, if you see y equals, you should make it a function and graph it. All right, let's go. Let's see what else we got here. I want to do number 12. So number 12, they gave us two functions. One's a quadratic, one's a linear, and they want to know whether those two graphs intersect or where they're equal. So I'm just going to go in, I'm going to make this f of x, make this one x squared. This is going to be a frown or a smile, 2x plus 1, press enter, boom. I'll pull it up a little bit so you can see it. Okay, so that's the one graph. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do menu. Nope, actually, I'm not going to do menu. I'm going to do tab. And then I'm going to enter the second function. And this one is linear. So this is going to be 7x minus 5. Press enter. Now, these have the same color. Don't like that. So I'm going to change the color of the second one to red. Now, if I pull this down, there are two places that there's an intersection, but all I'm going to do is I'm just going to use menu 64. Menu 64, I come to the left, come to the right. It tells me that one of the intersections, the x coordinate is 2. So which one of these has an x coordinate of 2? It would be this one. So that's that. Now, I want to show you one more thing. So we could go over here. We can go menu 15, get rid of this. So if we do this, we can use menu 31 to find where they are equal. So all you have to do is type in f of x equals g of x, because those are the two functions that we had, that we defined, and then comma x, and then press enter. And as we saw before, one of the x coordinate is 2. Now, if we want to find the other coordinate, we can change the starting point. Let's say we're going to start at 100 and press enter. So it tells us that the other coordinate is 3. So the answer for this one is clearly choice 4. So you can graph it and find the intersection using menu 64, or you can graph it as functions and then use the install command. Either way works. Okay, let's see. Do I have one more I want to do? Yeah, I'm going to do this one real quick, and this will be it. Okay, so they gave us a word problem, but the word problem has a quadratic function in it, and they want to know what the 3 represents. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to get rid of this menu 14. Now I'm going to go back to the normal window, so I'm going to do menu 4 or 5. So that takes me back to the standard window. And now I am just going to enter the function. I'm going to make it H. Now, the only letters that you can graph are X's. So I have to make this a negative 16x squared. And then plus 6x plus 3. And then press enter. All right, so that's the graph. Now, if I do menu 51, let's find some key points. Now, it starts at the y-intercept, and you see it's 0, 3. So that's what this is. Like if you put 0 in, this term drops out, this term drops out, and you're just left with this. So the 3 stands for, that's the initial height that the ball is thrown from. So it doesn't have anything to do with the number of seconds. So
all pickleballers should go to the gym. The tournament will start at 1 o'clock. Again, all pickleballers should go to the gym. The tournament will start at 1 o'clock.
All right, so this is the height from which the ball is thrown. So that would be our answer. And that would be it for this one. So let me, let's see, is there anything else I wanted to do here? Basically, these, I'm not going to graph these, but whenever they give you a question like this, when they're asking for the minimum, the smallest minimum, or the largest maximum, or the y-intercept, if they give you functions, graph them, and graph them on the same spreadsheet, on the same graph, so that you can compare them. But once you graph them, it's easy to see which one has the lowest minimum. Now, the only one that you're not going to be able to graph directly is this one that has a table. But you could go to the spreadsheet. You could go to the spreadsheet And once you have the spreadsheet, you can create a quadratic function. Because they tell us it's quadratic. And then once you get that, you can graph it. And that's the easiest way to do this. Now, I'm going to do an example of this when I get to the spreadsheet part. But just for now, I just want to focus. This is a function. This is a function. This is a graph of a function. So basically, that's what you need to be looking at. All right, so I'm going to stop this for right now. So let's stop the recording.